Come to order. We're here for a special called meeting about our building program. So, Mr. Gill, want to take it away?
Sure. Each of you has a packet in front of you, and the first page obviously has recommendation, but I'll refer to that in a little while. If you would, flip to the next page. Reflected there are the base bid amounts and also some of the alternate bids that we put out there. And we had six different companies that bid on the project, is that right? Six total? Actually, there's seven, okay. The two of them were disqualified. The low bidder actually was Hardaway Construction, and they did not submit the qualified brick mason, so therefore they're unable to do the project. And the second low bidder was on page 2, Robert Biskin. Biskin's done quite a bit of work for us in the past. I'm sure Hardaway's an excellent company as well. Also, if you'll turn, you can refer or reflect on any of that information you want at any given time. In a minute, if you got questions, we'll answer those. But on page 3 were the 3 low bidders. As I said, Hardaway had the low bid. And again, remember, the base bid is substantially different than the total bid. Hardaway did have the best total bid at $48,103,750. Biskin was second. If you look at Biskin, their base bid was $42,015,000. $92,000 brick deduct, which brought them to $41,923,000. Now, when you add on your furniture, fixtures, technology, that's an additional $4.1 million. The design was $1.3 million, $150,000 design for the stadium. Utilities will be an additional $1 million, and roof inspections. That's not exactly what it implies. Explain that, Gary. The roof inspection.
That's our roof inspector, all our soils inspections, anything outside of what we would do.
Okay. So that brings Biskin's total bid to $48,766,750, which is, what, $663,000 more than Hardaway. But again, Hardaway is ineligible because of the what's considered as a qualified mason. Now, if you refer down, we've identified already potential savings of $1,075,000. Now, that's important for several reasons. Obviously, we want to save as much money as we can. But secondly, our goal is, in conjunction, I know with Commissioner Jordan, who serves as Health Ed's chairman, is to make sure we get something done at Eagleville. We did meet with Mr. Tollett today, who's the new principal there. And, while they would have preferred to have phase 1 and 2, it's just not doable given the $50 million that was submitted approved by the commission. But we're convinced we can do phase 2 with the money left over. That would give them 10 classrooms. In addition to those 10 classrooms, we'll convert 2 of them to science labs, which was in pursuit to his request. So we've got a good start on completing the Eagleville project. With respect to when phase 1 will be done, I don't know. It'll be a funding issue, but I suggest that we, pursue that, continue to pursue that. And I think at the right time, I think the commission, when the funds are available, would be amenable to that idea. If you look on the next page, page 4, reflected there are the potential savings that we identified as $1,075,000. You want to just quickly go over those, Mr. Clardy?
Yes, these are things that the architect has looked at and has picked out and targeted that we could possibly save money on. If we're needed, of course we need it. There's some sidewalks on the site that are really not necessary. Some seat walls at the stadium. courtyard irrigation, some of the landscaping, some of the parking area by shrinking it a little bit, track surface and irrigation head on the track, using a different type, points in our energy management system, some of the water heaters, some lighting controls, some slab rebar, cafeteria lines, and changing electrical in some of that. One of the culinary arts hoods, lighting in the dining, change the metal roof fastening or profile, and then some of the rough in the CT area. And we don't know the exact number on those, but we would like to pursue that and see what the savings would end up being, but that's a good estimate.
What, the cafeteria lines go, what is that? That's the biggest item. What are you gonna do there?
Those serving lines are set up where there's one point of entry for the electrical, so they're pre-wired. We think we can put $100,000 worth of conduit in the slab and change those out and save $300,000 on that.
Okay. Questions from the board on these proposed cost savings? Harry, you want to say
I just
something
want
else?
to say, you and I discussed, and I think once we identified or approved a particular vendor or company, then you'll try to find additional savings in conjunction with that contractor?
Yes.
Okay.
Once we bring a contractor on board, we'll try to look at some other economical ideas.
Okay. Any questions? Grant?
Well, why did not Binkley Garcia give some of these ahead of time, some of these potential cost savings here? It's looking like these are giving all of the bidders opportunity to, on some of this stuff here. Now, is he taking their bids and then just saying, here's where we can save from, rather than recommending ahead of time that's the areas they might?
Well, we had, the bid was fairly confusing anyway, because we had a bunch of stuff already put in alternates throughout the bid. And as a matter of fact, we had several requests from the contractor at the time to turn the alternates and everything else in at a later time. So we had the bid open, or the bidding. We received the bid for the building, the base building, at 2 o'clock, received the alternate bids at 3 o'clock, and then we opened them all at one time and paired them up. So these are things that will not change the looks of the building. They are things that we would love to have in the building if we had the money to do it with, but we just think at the time, we were kind of under the impression that the building would come in lower than it did. So we didn't worry about them. But now that the building came in where it did, we're looking at those, and we hope we can find more than that.
This our response to the bids being higher than we thought, rather than something we had in the background already. We didn't, it was just response.
That's correct, yeah.
Thank
It still came out at how much, what, 105 a square foot?
Well, the building, the base building price was $101, which is very good. That's right in line with some of the middle schools that we've done lately.
You know, it might be good if Jeff explained why
That's
that
going to be my next question, yeah. Harry, so, yeah,
Can you, Mr. Reed, explain why Hardaway was disqualified as a,
Well, with respect to all the bidders are required by law to list a number of their major subcontractors, one of those being the masonry subcontractor. In Hardaway's case, they had the subcontractor's license had actually expired. Masons are required to be licensed with the Board of Licensing Contractors for the state of Tennessee. On the face of the bid envelopes themselves, the contractors place a sticker that tells you the name of their subcontractors. In this case, it was a particular mason, and even on the face of the sticker itself, it had expired a month ago. So when we had, after bid opening, we did contact the state of Tennessee to confirm that there had not been a discrepancy with respect to that. We thought maybe their licensing had been in process and not yet renewed or approved. We thought there may, the database that you look online with the state, maybe that was just not updated yet. But after I myself talked with the director of the Board of Licensing Contractors, who's in charge of the entire department, and obviously they had a number of phone calls about the same issue, and she confirmed that indeed their license had expired and they were ineligible to, not Hardaway, but the subcontractor was ineligible to be bidding on any jobs. So since that subcontractor was ineligible, we could not accept the bid from the contractor himself.
So we have no flexibility there, it sounds like.
No,
from what you're
I mean,
saying.
it's state law, so really, state law makes it illegal for us to contract with an unlicensed contractor, subcontractor.
They can't run down there and reapply for their license after that bid's submitted, right?
They can't even do that, no.
Okay.
So it's unfortunate, and you wish the subcontractor had gotten everything reinstated before they had bid. I think it probably was just an oversight on someone's part that they didn't catch the fact that it had already expired on the face of the sticker itself. So it's somewhat unfortunate that has happened, but certainly there's nothing wrong with the Hardaway's licensing. Their licensing was fine. It was, the licensing was an issue with one of their subs that they had used.
Imagine they're a tad irritated with their sub. Any other discussion on that point or anything else? Harry, did you have more to go over?
No, I think I'd go back and emphasize to the good folks at Eagle that, we certainly all hoped it would come in lower because obviously, and also I'm sure the people at Smyrna Laverne with respect to the football fields and the restrooms and the bleachers, they too would like to come in lower, but it didn't. We still think it, as everybody recalls, when we began, we said 50 million. We were pretty much in the ballpark. It came in really at, after you threw all the particulars in, it came in at around 48 million, but we're still committed to doing it first, those classrooms, and I feel confident we'll be able to do that. And I do think that I heard one board member say already, it will remain a priority with the board, I believe, to see that phase one is done as soon as possible too. So with all that said, there's a copy on the last page. I don't know how pertinent that is of our building plan, but it shows on there, Stewart Creek High, Eagleville 1 and Eagleville 2. We'll have to flip those around and expect what we can do. We have to start with phase 2 in advance of phase 1, unless there's some money out there we're unaware of. But I'll take any questions on that. If not, I'm ready to make a recommendation.
I had a question. Back on page 3, it states that the stadium is $150,000. That's an added expense.
Fee, the architectural fee.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's to design
The
the
stadium
stadium?
itself is reflected in the bid, the base bid.
Okay, but that's a fee that we haven't paid yet, the design fee on
No,
the
I
stadium?
don't know. I guess it'll be paid as part of Binkley Garcia's fee too, right?
That's correct. And what we've basically done is we've been working out of the building program, basically borrowing money for all the fees to this point until the county borrows, and then that 50 million or 49 and change will go in there and reimburse that.
What's the process that those items will be selected? The technology design, the furnishings, those kind of things. Is that all on the recommendation of Binkley Garcia as well?
Well, it's all of the furniture, fixtures, and equipment and technology are things that we would put in a high school, that like Siegel, all kinds of equipment, desks, those types of things that we have on bid that we buy for all of our
Yeah, but
schools.
what we have, Mr. Holliday, is basically a prescribed package. So when we open a middle school, it's almost like a cookie cutter package. You get this, you get this, you get this. It's already configured with respect to what they'll get, the number of desks, the kind of computer equipment. It's worked well. What it's done is allow us to get schools open on time with all their furniture in lieu of going back and starting from scratch every time we build a school. So we'll use pretty much what Siegel had versus necessary changes over, over 8 years' time.
I'd also like to add that it saves us money because we buy it directly and contract directly, and then there's no design fee attached to that. We don't have to pay the 3% on those items.
Okay.
Other questions or discussion?
What was the last school that Biscayne built for us?
Sir,
What was the last school that Biscayne built for us?
they built one of these 2 middle schools.
Whitaker, Buchanan, Middle
Buchanan.
School, Whitworth, Buchanan.
Everything's squared away on it?
Pretty much, we got a couple landscaping issues, a little bit of siding. They're working towards getting those, finished.
Other discussion? Okay, do you want to add into your motion, or do you want a separate motion on Eagleville? Or how do you want to do that?
We didn't put them, first of all, the bid hadn't come in on them yet. It comes in, around the 1st of August?
Well, there's a pre-bid conference on the 2nd of August, and then the bid opening will be August 16th.
Yeah. I would suggest,
Just hold off on that?
yeah, we hold off on
Okay.
that, yeah. And that'll, probably by then, you'll know a little more with respect to what additional savings we might have, won't you?
Yes,
Okay.
we'll be vigorously chasing this over the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Mr. Chairman.
Everyone involved.
My understanding, once we choose the contractor, we can go back then and make some adjustments. Is that correct on the bid, or suggest some other compromise?
Yeah, he'll work with Joe Binkley, and they'll work with Biskin and see what else we can do without sacrificing quality, but yet maybe saving some money.
It
But you
will
can't
be-
make adjustment until after you award the bid, right?
Right, we need to award it, and then it can be considered a change order. At that point, after the bid's awarded.
Want to read your recommendation to make it official?
Yes, sir. I recommend that you approve Robert S. Biskin Construction Company as the lowest and best qualified bidder for construction of Stewart's Creek High School, the amount of $42,015,000, along with a deduct of alternate 10, $92,000, bringing the total contract price to $41,923,000.
Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion's adopted. Any other business? Other than to say we're very excited to take this step. It's been a long road getting this approved. Thank you, Mr. Gill and Mr. Clardy, for all your good work on this.
Mr. Jordan?
Of course, the man who helped us come up with $50 million or so. So, yeah, no, we appreciate his support on this and every other school-related
Sure.
matter. All right, if there's no other business, we're adjourned.